Hello, sellers. Good evening. I am Pankaj here from Flipkart, and I welcome you all for today's session that is on legal metrology awareness. We will be beginning the session in another 5 to 10 minutes, allowing some time for other sellers to join as well. The next part of the session will be taken care by Sheetal. Yeah, Sheetal will begin the session in another five to 7 minutes.
All right, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So let's just make a note that we'll first explain everything with regards to the topic, and then we'll move on to Q&A session. And you can ask the questions, or you can drop your questions in the chat box to be firm. We will pick it up later on in the Q&A.
Okay. So thanks, Pankaj, and welcome, sellers. So today the session is on legal metrology awareness session. So basically, I'm Sheetal from the Consumer Protection Compliance team, and we ensure compliance to Legal Metrology Act as well as rules. So today we'll talk about what are the mandatory requirements under the legal metrology rules, and if there are any questions, as Pankaj said, you can park those questions or you can drop them in the chat. Once we are done with the entire session, we can address each and every question as and when, whatever the questions that might arise during the session. Okay, so today we'll talk about the basics of the Legal Metrology Act requirements. And as sellers who are listing products on our platform, what are the mandatory requirements that need to be adhered to ensure compliance with respect to the Legal Metrology Act and rules? And lastly, we'll be taking up any questions that may arise during the session. So, the legal metrology rules specify certain mandatory product attributes. So, while listing the product on our platform, on Flipkart or any other platform, Myntra, etc., etc., so there are certain mandatory attributes which need to be, the information for those mandatory attribute needs to be provided to the consumers so that they can take a informed decision whether they want to purchase the product or not. So while we continue this session, I will give the requirements of what are those mandatory product attributes. But this entire exercise is just to ensure that we provide transparent and complete information to the consumers so that they can take an informed decision into buying any product that they want to buy from Flipkart or any of the platforms for that matter. So the rule or the act governing this entire requirement is the Legal Metrology Act and the rules under the Legal Metrology Act. So now the rules talk about certain mandatory. So over these two slides, I will cover the mandatory requirements that need to be provided on the platform while listing any product. Okay, so for example, the first one, not the first requirement is the common or the generic name of the commodity contained in the package. So these requirements are basically for pre-packaged commodities. Okay, so by pre-packaged, I mean that is already there in the package. It is not sold loose to the consumers. Okay, so these requirements are for pre-packaged commodities. Now, for example, the common and the generic name of the commodity. For example, tur dal. So basically, dal. That is the common or the generic name of the commodity. Net quantity. So net quantity is basically the standard unit of weight or measure or in number. So for net quantity, maybe in terms of grams, in terms of milliliter. So that is the net quantity of a particular product. Now, for there are certain, call outs within the legal metrology rules, which says that specifically for aerosol products. Now, what are aerosol products? For example, which have those sprays like insecticides, those which come in sprays, deodorants, perfumes. So, in those cases, the product, while listing those products on the platform, the net quantity has to be displayed in weight as well as volume. That is the standard unit of measurement of gram or ml. Then for edible oil or vanaspati ghee or butter oil, it must be declared again in volume and weight. So ml as well as grammage, both needs to be called out for these products. Apart from the net quantity and the common and generic name, there are certain other requirements. Name and complete address with PIN code of the manufacturer. So, for example, if a product is manufactured in India by XYZ company, so the name of the XYZ company, the complete address of the XYZ company, along with the PIN code of the XYZ company. So that is the complete address of the manufacturer. Many times on our platform, we have seen that people just leave it at XYZ, but they don't give the complete details of where is XYZ, what is the complete address with the PIN code. So this is some discrepancy we have seen. So whenever you're listing any products on our platform, ensure that the complete manufacturing address with PIN code is provided on the platform. Now, there are three requirements: manufactured address, that is specifically in India. Now, manufacturer and packer, when there is the packer is different from the manufacturer. And lastly, the importer address in case the product is imported or outside India. Okay, so that is the requirement for manufacturing, packer, and importer details. Then coming to country of origin. So country of origin, full country name. For example, India, China, Switzerland, anything, Australia, anything that has to come with a complete country of origin address, not short forms. Then maximum retail price in Indian rupees, in Indian currency, and it should have the words included inclusive of all taxes. So the MRP should mention inclusive of all taxes. Okay. Then apart from that, we have the unit sale price for a commodity. So this is a requirement which was which had come in from 1st Jan of 2022. Unit sale price also has to be given. So how would be the unit sale price? It must be mentioned on the pack. Otherwise also MRP divided by the total weight or the total grammage volume. So that would be your unit sale price of that particular commodity. Then best before or use by date, month and year, in case this is specifically most for food products where beyond a particular time consumption becomes harmful for humans. Okay, so best before or use by date, the month and the year has to be provided. Then the next one is the contact number of the manufacturer, packer, and the email address of the person who will be able to address these consumer complaints. So basically, this requirement is more for grievance redressal. So contact number of the manufacturer and the packer and the email address has to be provided. Then dimensions. Dimensions of the commodity contained in the package where the size of the commodity is relevant. So this will be basically your electronics verticals, basically electronic products, TVs, etc. So where the dimensions is a requirement. Then size. For clothing, we have to mention the product size in centimeter and meter, and also we can link it into internationally recognizable size. So sometimes it is very difficult. The requirement says that we have to mention the size in centimeter and meter, but from consumer standpoint, apart from the regulatory requirement to make it easy for the consumers, I mean the recognizable size can also be added: M, L, XL, double XL, etc. Then month and year of the manufacture of the commodity shall be declared. So earlier we saw basically the use by date or the expiry date. Now we have to also mention the month and year of the manufacturing of the commodity. So when the product was manufactured. And specifically in electronic products, accessories, spare parts, the month and manufacture, a month and year of the manufacture also must be declared. This is a new requirement. Earlier it was specifically for commodities. Now they have added this as a requirement from April 2024 for accessories, electronic products, and spare parts also. So basically, these are the mandatory requirements that have to be mentioned on the platform while listing the product. Um, I will take a pause over here. Whoever has any questions, please let me know on these two particular slides, because next on is just basic Q&A. Any questions, team? Okay. So there is one question about mustard oil. So mustard oil ka bhi, I'm so sorry, I didn't see that someone had mentioned Hindi, I'm so sorry. I can repeat the requirements in Hindi if that is the requirement. Just a minute. So अगर कोई प्री पैकेज्ड कमोडिटी हम अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे लिस्ट कर रहे हैं, लाइक फ्लिपकार्ट और एनी ऑफ द प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे हम लिस्ट कर रहे हैं, तो कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं जो हमको डालनी है प्रोडक्ट के लिए ऑन ऑन आर प्लेटफॉर्म। तो जब आप कोई प्रोडक्ट लिस्ट कर रहे हो तो कुछ कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट्स, मैंडेटरी एट्रीब्यूट्स होनी चाहिए जो हम, जिससे हम कस्टमर को पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म, जिससे वो एक अच्छा परचेज कर सकते हैं हमारे प्रोडक्ट का। सो वो जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है, एक तो है कॉमन नेम, जैसे हम अगर कोई तूर दाल का पैकेट लिस्ट कर रहे हैं तो कॉमन और द जेनेरिक नेम वहां पे जो होगा वो दाल होगी, क्योंकि लोग दाल के नाम से ये कमोडिटी खरीदते हैं, तो दाल। फिर नेट क्वांटिटी मींस उसका कितना क्वांटिटी है, मतलब 1 किलो 2 किलो, बट उसका रिक्वायरमेंट लीगल मेट्रोलॉजी रूल्स में लिखा हुआ है कि इसको हमको ग्राम में लिखना है या ml में लिखना है। सो फॉर नेट क्वांटिटी उसका पूरा हमको क्वांटिटी देना है, वो प्रोडक्ट का कितना क्वांटिटी का वो पैकेट है। जब कोई एरेजोल प्रोडक्ट हम लिस्ट कर रहे हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल डिओड्रेंट्स हो गया या कोई जिसमें हम एक्चुअली कोई परफ्यूम या स्प्रेज हो गए, तो वहां पे हमको दोनों वेट्स, दोनों नेट क्वांटिटी, मतलब दोनों रिक्वायरमेंट्स में देना है, वेट एज वेल एज वॉल्यूम, मतलब ग्राम एज वेल एज ml में हमको वो प्रोडक्ट्स का वेट बताना है। एक क्वेश्चन था अबाउट मस्टर्ड ऑयल। So mustard oil will also come under edible oil. So in that we have to again, मतलब दोनों वेट्स में देना है, लीटर में भी देना है, सॉरी लीटर नहीं, ml में भी देना है और वेट में भी देना है, मतलब दोनों हमको जब नेट क्वांटिटी डिक्लेयर करें तो दोनों स्टैंडर्ड यूनिट्स में हमको इसका मेजरमेंट बताना है। देन नेम एंड कंप्लीट एड्रेस ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चर। ये इज दिस क्वेश्चन रिजॉल्व? What is the mandatory for mustard oil? Is this question resolved? ओके, ठीक है। अभी हाँ, ठीक है। अब आगे बढ़ते हैं। ये मैं क्वेश्चंस लेती रहूंगी जैसे जैसे आई मूव फॉरवर्ड, बट पहले मैं हिंदी में सारी रिक्वायरमेंट समझा देती हूँ, फिर अगर कुछ भी स्टिल एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चंस रहेंगे तो मैं आपको बताती रहूंगी उसका जवाब। ओके, सो तीसरा रिक्वायरमेंट है नेम एंड कंप्लीट एड्रेस विद पिन कोड, मतलब पूरा, अगर मैन्युफैक्चरर इंडिया का है तो उसकी सारी डिटेल्स देनी है, नाम, उसका नाम देना है, कंपनी का नाम होगा या जो भी नाम होगा, उसका पूरा एड्रेस पता देना है कि वो कहाँ का कंपनी है, एंड पिन कोड भी देना है उसका। सो मैन्युफैक्चरर का नाम देना है, पैकर डिटेल्स, तो कभी मैन्युफैक्चरर और पैकर अलग अलग हो तो उस केस में पैकर डिटेल्स भी हमको देने हैं। एंड अगर कोई बाहर का प्रोडक्ट हो, मतलब इम्पोर्टेड प्रोडक्ट हो, तो हमको इम्पोर्टेड डिटेल्स भी देनी है। सो दैट इज द रिक्वायरमेंट। फिर फोर्थ रिक्वायरमेंट है कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन, मतलब किस कंट्री में वो प्रोडक्ट बना था, तो उसका पूरा नाम देना है। जब हम एमआरपी डिस बताते हैं, मैक्सिमम रिटेल प्राइस, तो उसको हमको ऐसे बताना है कि उसमें इंक्लूसिव ऑफ ऑल टैक्सेस, मतलब ऊपर से कोई टैक्सेस नहीं लग रहा है, इंक्लूसिव ऑफ ऑल टैक्सेस इस प्रोडक्ट का ये प्राइस है, तो उसका मतलब एमआरपी है। देन यूएसपी, दैट इज यूनिट सेल प्राइस। ओके, सो एमआरपी दैट इज इन इंडियन करेंसी, यूनिट सेल प्राइस। तो कई बार मतलब अब ये रिक्वायरमेंट है यूनिट सेल प्राइस का। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर दाल है 100 रुपए की, तो और एक 1000 मतलब 1 किलो का पैकेट है, तो बेसिकली पर ग्राम उसका कितना वैल्यू है या कितना एमआरपी हुआ, उसको बोलते हैं यूनिट सेल प्राइस। सो वो भी हमको मेंशन करना है हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे। बेस्ट बिफोर और यूज बाय डेट, तो मतलब बेसिकली दिस इज मोस्टली फॉर फूड प्रोडक्ट्स की यूज बाय डेट, जैसे हमारे घी इस पे, बट घी पे होता है या कहाँ पे भी होता है, जो एक्सपायरी डेट या यूज बाय डेट होता है, तो उसको मंथ एंड ईयर उसका मेंशन करना है, जिसके बियॉन्ड ह्यूमन कंजम्पशन के लिए वो डिफिकल्ट हो, तो इसीलिए मतलब वो हानिकारक हो, इसलिए वो यूज बाय डेट भी हमको मेंशन करनी है हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे। नाउ मूविंग ऑन, कॉन्टैक्ट एड्रेस ऑफ द। सो कई बार कस्टमर्स को कोई कंप्लेन हो सकती है प्रोडक्ट की, जैसे बिस्किट्स विस्किट्स के ऊपर बहुत इशू होता है, मतलब वेट कम होता है या खराब पैक होता है, तो उस केस में हमको कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर ऑफ द मैन्युफैक्चरर देना है, जिसके साथ कस्टमर बात कर सकता है अगर उसके पास कोई कंप्लेन हो, और उसका ईमेल एड्रेस भी प्रोवाइड करना है। देन डायमेंशंस. सो डायमेंशंस भी मतलब डायमेंशन इन सेंटीमीटर और मीटर प्रोवाइड करने हैं फॉर एनी कमोडिटी जो हमको लिस्ट करनी है. साइज, अगर एक क्वेश्चन था विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू अपैरल्स. ओके, अपैरल्स के केस में, अगर कोई अपैरल्स है तो उसका साइज सेंटीमीटर और मीटर में मेंशन करना जरूरी है. बट टू मेक इट मोर यूजर फ्रेंडली, सेंटीमीटर एंड मीटर एंड नॉर्मल साइजेस जिससे कंज्यूमर परचेज करता है, एम, एक्सएल, एल एक्सेट्रा, ये भी हम मेंशन कर सकते हैं अलोंग विद द सेंटीमीटर एंड मीटर. देन मंथ एंड ईयर ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरर, अगर हम जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, अगेन आई टेक एग्जांपल ऑफ दालोनी, तो वो कौन से महीने में वो मैन्युफैक्चर हुआ था, तो वो मंथ एंड ईयर हमको देना है. एंड लास्टली, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्रोडक्ट्स में भी ये रिक्वायरमेंट आ गया है, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्रोडक्ट्स, एक्सेसरीज, स्पेयर पार्ट्स में भी, कि हमको मंथ एंड ईयर ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरर देना है. ये मैंने अभी हिंदी में बोला है. अब मैं एक एक क्वेश्चन देखती हूँ. लेट मी सी कि कहाँ कहाँ पे क्या क्या क्वेश्चन है. ओके, आई थिंक ये मस्टर्ड ऑयल वाला क्लियर हो गया, राइट? Hindi and mustard oil is cleared. Now, next question is, is it applicable to garments? Anian Samuel has written, is it applicable to garments? Yes, it is applicable to garments. So, your net quantity, basically that requirement will be applicable 1, 2, whatever. And then also this size dimensions. So, basically garments के लिए size, whatever is the requirement, centimeter, meter, along with the standard recognizable sizes like M, XL, L, etc. That is a requirement. So for these kind of products, apparels or garments, these requirements will come into practice along with the other requirements. Like I'll give you an example. So common and generic name to name. Your net quantity will come, name and complete address of the manufacturer or packer, importer, country of origin, MRP. ये तो नहीं. Then your sizes basically will come. Uh, yeah, contact number of the manufacturer, packer, email address. So yes, it will be applicable. I hope this question is answered for apparels. Okay. Now, the next one is, can we change MRP frequently for online selling, or is there any restriction if I source product from the man sell under my brand? Whose details should be printed, manufacturer or seller? Okay, so first thing is, can we change MRP frequently for online selling, or it is there a restriction? So see, MRP of the product is generally fixed. You can change the selling price or the listing price of the product on the platform. For example, on the product, for example, if you are selling, I'll say a tea packet, right? For example, Bagh Bakri. Okay, on that the MRP is actually fixed, right, on the packet, because it is coming from the brand of Bagh Bakri. So उसमें तो पैकेट पे लिखा होगा 560 रुपए इंक्लूसिव ऑफ टैक्सेस. बट जब आप लिस्ट कर रहे हो, एमआरपी वाला तो 560 ही होगा जो लेबल पे दिया होगा. सो वी हैव टू एंश्योर दैट वट एवर एमआरपी वी आर मेंशनिंग ऑन द प्लेटफॉर्म is the same as that of the label, neither more neither less. ठीक है, that is the first requirement. Second is, you can ensure, you can list the product, as in the listing price of the product can be lower, because that discounts and everything, that is okay, that is your prerogative. But MRP cannot change frequently. MRP will remain the same as that is mentioned on the label. uh, विकास जी, आपका क्वेश्चन रिजॉल्व हुआ? हाँ, ओके, ठीक है. If I source product from a manufacturer and sell under the brand, so the country of origin will be that of the manufacturer, the manufacturing address will be that of the manufacturer, packer address is where you can put it because you are selling it under your brand. Okay, is that fine? Okay, next. um जेनेरिक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक आइटम विदाउट गारंटी हो उसका भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डेट तो आपको डालना पड़ेगा। गारंटी हो या ना हो दैट इज डिफरेंट। बट किस मतलब कब बना है, कब मैन्युफैक्चर हुआ है, वो तो इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ गारंटी है। तो वो तो आपको डालना पड़ेगा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डेट, दैट इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट। गारंटी वारंटी इज डिफरेंट। सो उससे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डेट का कोई लेना देना नहीं है, वो आपको डिटेल्स देनी पड़ेंगी फॉर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक प्रोडक्ट्स। Okay, Mohit ji, I've answered your question. Okay, मैं चाय पत्ती में डील करता हूँ, बस पैक करके सेल करता हूँ, देन मैन्युफैक्चर किसका लिखना होगा? लाइक मैं आसाम से प्रोडक्ट लेके आता हूँ। ओके, तो सोनू जी का क्वेश्चन है कि मैं चाय पत्ती में डील करता हूँ, बस पैक करके सेल करता हूँ, देन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एड्रेस किसका है? लाइक मैं असम से प्रोडक्ट लेके आता हूँ। सो आप जिधर से लेके आ रहे हो प्रोडक्ट मतलब उसका तो कोई मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होगा, राइट? असम में कोई तो होगा। तो उसका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एड्रेस और पैकर, जैसे आपने बोला कि आप पैक करके सेल करते हो, तो यहाँ पे आपका एड्रेस आएगा एज सेलर। सो पैकर एड्रेस विल बी आपका, और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एड्रेस जहां से आप असम से ले रहे हो तो वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एड्रेस वहां का होगा। ठीक है, सोनू जी का क्वेश्चन रिजॉल्व हो गया। ओके। आई एम अ हॉकिंस डीलर in spite of proving scan copy of rejecting my application to six. Um, Shantanu ji, I am not the right person for this question. Hawkins dealer in Kolkata, tax invoice and everything that will not be my domain. Probably you can reach out to seller support on this. ओके, फर्नीचर कैटेगरी के लिए प्रोडक्ट लिस्ट करने वाले हो, तो फर्नीचर कैटेगरी में आप जब लिस्ट करोगे प्रोडक्ट, तो आपके बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स तो यही रहेंगे, मतलब जो अभी तक मैंने आपको एक्सप्लेन किया हुआ है, तो वो मोस्टली आपके सारे रिक्वायरमेंट्स उसमें फिट होंगे। तो वो आपको मतलब ये रिक्वायरमेंट्स जब आप लिस्ट करोगे प्रोडक्ट को अपने प्लेटफॉर्म पे, तब आपको डॉक्यूमेंट्स तो नहीं बट ये सारे डिटेल्स लगेंगे उसको लिस्ट करने के लिए। ओके, I understand, Shantan, but I can't help much. You'll have to reach out to Flipkart seller support only. I mean, to understand what is the issue with the tax invoice. Okay, Priyanka. Currently selling artificial jewelry on Flipkart, but I also want to sell on Flipkart Minutes. Okay, so I'm not very sure about Flipkart Minutes. What's the process of introducing new sellers? Probably you can reach out to seller support on this. But the requirements, if you go ahead with listing on Flipkart Minutes, will be the same.
Sheetal, I believe you have some questions in Q&A tab. And sellers, please ask questions with regards to the topic. We
Yeah,
won't be
I
able
am
to.
actually going through the chat only, and from chat only I'm responding. Anusha, as a trader, need to mention third-party manufacturing details. See, if you are procuring the product from a manufacturer, packing in, etc., so then yes, you'll have to mention the manufacturing details. Know about taking brand approval without trademark with logo. Shagufta, I am not the right person for trademark approvals and everything. Local dealers. I am dealing in toys, mostly China made. Local dealers. So, Abir, if you are purchasing from local dealers, they might have some details, right? Jahan se you are purchasing this and everything, and you are repackaging it. Are you repackaging it? Okay, so you're just procuring it and listing it in the same package? Okay, so in that case, yes, you will have to get the manufacturing details. Maybe if it is China made, then something would be there on the packet, right? So those details will have to come out while listing the products. Chat listing, font, image, repeat. Okay, Mukul, for your question, please reach out to seller support for bulk catalog, and then during listing the font, images, repeat, and everything. For that, you can reach out to catalog team or seller support team. Diaper category also, it is a pre-packaged commodity. The requirements will remain the same. Prashant, what issue are you facing? I'm in listing category in helping any seller on how to do that. So probably Pankaj is there. You can reach out to him. He's from seller support.
Sheetal, they can directly get through the seller support itself.
Okay. ठीक है. I think most of the questions are repeat here in Q&A and in the chat. If there are still any additional questions, please let me know. Prashant, for this you'll have to reach seller support QC not cleared and everything. I'm not the right person. Anian, I'm not the right person for this. Flipkart charging any fees to helping the support. One thing that led I list mustard oil, 1 liter manufacturing, and right now I have 100 pieces. Okay. After sales, my all pieces of oil, my manufacturing date is manufacturing date. Tell me one thing that led I list mustard oil 1 liter. Right now I have 100 pieces. I have all pieces of. Okay, so but then you'll have to put the use manufacturing date is so Gyanendra, I just want to understand while listing you have put it as March of 26, right? All pieces. Is that what you are saying for mustard oil? Okay. It's fine, no? Because anyways, see, at you are putting the use by date also, na? So then it's fine, na? Not an issue, right? If your use by date is clear, so still the consumers will get the right product, right? Not an issue. They will not get beyond the expiry date and everything. It's okay. One time you can just put it, or as in when you, so you can put it in batches also, like that's also okay. But otherwise, I don't see an issue. Any other questions, please? Or else I'll move to the next slides. Okay, so this is basically just the screenshots of what exactly has to be put on our platforms. Like for example, this is an example of Suji. So generic name is flour, country of origin is India, expiry date, manufacturing address, packer address. So this is an example of manufacturing address जहाँ पे पूरा address दिया हुआ है गुजरात वगैरह एंड यहाँ पे this is brand name, type, quantity, maximum shelf life, perishable, model name, net quantity. So this is one of the examples of how the product details should reflect on the platform so that the consumer can take an informed decision. That's it. And apart from this, from seller support team, you might be receiving these communications on monthly or quarterly basis. So these are basically while listing on the platform. Here are the same requirements that we discussed now. So there are regular communications which go from Flipkart to the sellers to ensure that while listing the products, they are aware of what are the requirements that need to be put on our platform. These are the same requirements that we discussed now, and you receive regular communications also. So if you are in any doubt, please see your registered emails so that you get these communications where you can refer to and ensure that you put the right attributes when you list the products on our platform. So yeah, that's it. If you have any further questions, do let me know. Or yeah, that's it then.
Sheetal, you done with the explanation part?
Yeah, this is done.
Okay, so let's wait for another 5 to 7 minutes. If we get any questions, you can answer it, or else we can wrap up the session. I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sellers, please ask the question with regards to the topic. If you ask the questions on some other topics, we won't be able to answer it. Sheetal, I guess you have some questions in the Q&A tab. Hello, Sheetal?
Hello. Yeah. I'm just checking the Q&A tab. 1 minute.
Okay, fine. And you can just go through chat box as well once if you have any questions over there. I mean, related questions to the topic.
मोहित आप फॉर योर क्वेश्चन सेलर पैनल पर कस्टमर को ₹299 दिख रहा है लेकिन जनरेटेड बिल पर 232 दिख रहा है इस मतलब व्हाट इज एग्जैक्टली द इशू आई एम सो सॉरी आई कांट अंडरस्टैंड द इशू हेलो हेलो
Yeah, you're audible.
ओके
Your voice is too low, but
आई डोंट नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंड कैन यू हियर मी नाउ
yeah, much better.
Okay. I'm just going through the chat. There was one question, Q&A from Shagufta. Okay. So in this case, there was a question regarding a third-party manufacturer, right? So in that case, the manufacturing address will be that of the manufacturer from whom you're getting the product. Packaging address will be yours because you are repacking and selling it. So it will be your as a packer address, and manufacturing address will be that from where you are getting the product manufactured. Um, Mohit, I still can't understand your question. Can you please clarify? You have not given me any understanding further on this. Komal, I'll not be able to help you on this question. Reconciliation summary. I am not the right person for this. Okay, I think that was the only question. Mohit, if you still can clarify your doubt, otherwise, I'm not able to understand your question. What exactly are you talking about, Moksh? Thank you note. What exactly is this thank you note? शगुफ्ता आई थिंक मैंने आपके क्वेश्चन को ऑलरेडी जवाब दे दिया है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू थर्ड पार्टी मैन्युफैक्चरर एंड दिस पैकर. अभी ब्रांड अप्रूवल लेना चाहिए या जेनेरिक कैटेगरी के लिए, देन उसमें आई प्रोबेबली विल नॉट बी एबल टू हेल्प यू ऑन दिस. बट विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू व्हाट डिटेल्स नीड टू बी मेंशन, दैट आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू. Prashanta, yes. For your question, photo frames, goddess, should I paste manufacturing detail labels on their box? Yes. So, whatever the label should contain all these details, and the same should reflect on the product listing on our platform. Anusha, what exactly is your question? You are saying that it is different. The India listing for UK are compliance different. What is your question? Anusha, I'm not the right person for documents that are needed for export plus listing. Listing, the session that we have, this is more on the requirements that if you want to list any product on our platform, these details have to be mentioned. Now, what documents are needed for export or anything, this is not relevant to this session. I think, Pankaj, most of the questions are answered, whichever were relevant to the topic.
Okay, then we can wrap up the session here, right?
Yeah, Deshwara, you're coming up with a question of how can I enable open box delivery to my customers? This session is not relevant to the question is not relevant to this session, which we just covered.
So I hope all the questions have been answered related to the topic. Sheetal?
All the questions are answered from my side. Some are not relevant to this topic, so I've
Yeah, whichever are
mentioned
the
that
relevant to the
also,
topic.
that it is not relevant to this topic.
Yeah. So sellers, I hope all the questions have been answered with regards to the topic we had today. And in the future, we'll be having weekly webinar, and we'll be sharing you all the invites about the same. Whatever the questions are with regards to the topic, you can bring it in. And thank you for attending for today's session. I hope the session was insightful, and thank you, Sheetal, as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you all have a good day.
Sure. Same to you. Bye. Bye,
Thank you. Bye
everyone.
bye.